G'day, I'm Ben from Catch Pro Australia, and this is Lawn Care Skull Sessions with my co-host, the bearded lawnsman, BJ.
Oscar.
How you going, butter?
Oh yeah, I'm alright. How you doing?
Pretty good. The weather is like really cool now.
Yeah.
Still have a steady flow of work though, which is good for me. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. Pretty good.
Yeah, I had to take off my jumper. It was getting a bit warm, but
Nah, that's blasphemy.
morning.
Right, I got underboots on.
I'm a bit jealous. I'm gonna go buy myself some Ugg boots.
Yeah, so
Everyone in the family's like, "Oh, we're gonna get some real Uggs." I'm like, "Get me some Targets."
No, so these actually are real Uggs.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're awesome. But I just have to be responsible and wear them with socks. Because otherwise you stank them up, man.
I know, man. And like you pay, like, you know, back in the day, they used to be a couple $100 for the really good ones.
I know these ones are pretty expensive. Vicky got them for my birthday, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've always.
Is it a bit like your hat? If you went into the Ugg store and got yourself a pair of Uggs, would you even look at the price these days? Walk out with a $700 pair of Uggs.
No.
I did tempt you though. Like that Ugg. We should be sponsored by Uggs right now.
Yeah.
But the fucking jackets are like $800, $900.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Not for a jacket, brother.
Nah.
So, we've been to our event now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
we
awesome.
can talk about that. So, thanks to everyone that attended.
Yeah.
And special shout out to Peter Gubb.
Peter Gubb, yeah.
Peter Gubb.
Gubby.
For winning the brush cutter prize.
Yeah. He was just having an old chat.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious.
It was so funny. And his name was called and we're like, "Pete, you're up." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, he just had no idea what was going on.
What did he say? "I never win anything."
He's like, "Oh, I never win anything."
So there you go, mate. Starting off your winning career.
So, and special shout out to all the brands, Cox Mowers, Gravely Australia, SME with Walker.
Yep.
Cub Cadet was there, Honda was there, Briggs was there. And it was awesome to catch up with everyone.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
Special shout out to Rob Gilchrist.
Yeah.
From Briggs and Stratton. He's just an awesome guy. Just reminds me of my dad, eh?
How handsome is Ross Barber? He's a good looking rooster.
Yeah, so
I couldn't believe he's telling us his age. I'm like, oh god, you make me feel like shit.
It was the first time I actually got to hang out with him. Usually I sort of only see him in passing, maybe at a dealership, and he's usually got business to take care of.
That's where I met him.
It was cool to hang out.
It was good. Got to ride a few different machines, but yeah, all in all, it was. I was
a shithouse salesman. Kept walking away from the Catch Pro trailer to go and talk and network with people.
I picked up a few people around the Catch Pro trailer, had a chat when you weren't around, but yeah, you did just fuck off and chat.
Yeah, I'm no good at working a booth.
Nah, it's all good.
So also a special shout out to John Clark, franchisor, who held that, and obviously Dan from Southside Mower Centre, the local mower dealer. Great support there.
Now, it was actually a two-pronged attack for me because it was really good to meet all these people, but it was also really good for me to put my claws into them for my own event.
Sure.
Which is coming along really well. Dates have changed, so it was going to be mid-July, but because I want Benny to be involved, I think that it's best that I do it while he's around. So it's either me or him that have fucked this. Every single weekend we kind of alternated between me and him trying to figure out which date we could do it on. So we're going for mid-April.
Please say August.
April, May, fucking June, July, August. We're going for mid-August.
But we can update everyone closer to the time.
Yeah.
Just quickly, we got some reviews off the bat, which I'll tell you a funny story. We screenshotted some of the reviews last week, and I had them on my phone, and we didn't even whip it out.
Yeah, we suck.
So we got the computer here.
Now, the first one comes from Paul, and this is via Apple, which all of our reviews are. Come on, Spotify, get with the times, mate. Great potty, 5 stars. Yeah, the boys, we had the National Diesel and Dirt Turf Expo at Eastern Creek last weekend in Sydney. It was marketed as a family event last year. Oh, last year it was free. This year it was $10 per adult.
Dogs.
Yeah. The kids have a great time testing out all the diggers. Tora had a great stand this year by Semco Equipment Sales. Oh, okay. And it was the only decent turf stand. It would have been great to see Skag or even Catch Pro out there next year. So, yeah, it's a 3-day event. Damn, heaps of deals. So that's pretty cool, man. I did actually. Benny Brown was down there. He's like a bit of a Skag / Seppi / McConnell rep for International Mowers. They were down there. Don't think there was any Skag stuff. So, but you know, there's always next year. I know they did do the Tasmanian Agricultural Expo or some shit was on last week.
Different country down there, eh?
Would be. I don't know. I've never been. Have you been to Tassie?
Nah. I haven't been anywhere, eh?
Yeah, nah. I've got another one here from Lawn Support. 5 stars. Really great to hear a few mates talking and providing great info for the industry. Thank you very much for those 5 stars. We got Greg, T84.
Nah, that's an old one.
Is it?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember the last time we read the reviews, but yeah, bust it out.
I'm pretty sure I remember if we had someone called Greg on here. I'm thoroughly enjoying this podcast. Plenty of knowledge, the do's and don'ts, and all the things I need to hear to help build my business. Much appreciated. Greg Blossom. Ooh, lucky. Blossom's Lawn and Garden.
So thank you everyone for your reviews.
Always welcome.
We now have 119 5-star reviews for the Skull Sessions.
That's pretty fucking good.
So, stoked with that. I do want to get to 200 though.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
You know, maybe we'll run a comp for the 200 reviews. That's a lot of reviews to get to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, mate. Speaking of competitions, the raffles at my event are fucking gonna look pretty sweet. There's, you know, a few big brands putting in a few dollars. And
okay, so let's just give it a quick plug here.
Yeah, so...
sorry to take over.
No, go for it.
We're looking at August the
19th.
August the 19th, Saturday. We're going to have huge brands there. Gravely, Bush Ranger, Skag, obviously.
Yeah.
SME's going to be there. Briggs is going to be there.
Catch Pro's going to be there.
Oh, Catch Pro.
ICL, they've got a really good prize. There's also going to be... I spoke to Milwaukee yesterday. They're really keen to be involved. There's also going to be some different things there. So one of my customers owns a custom motorcycle shop. He said he'll load his truck up and bring 5 or 6 bikes along. Yesterday I was speaking to Mark from IMO, and he said like he's more than happy to get a few of his boys with their hot rods and their street machines out and bring them through.
So the event's going to be in Brisbane at the Poity Acres.
At my Poity Acres, yeah, which is, you know, I didn't think they were going to let me have it there. And as soon as I mentioned the Red Kite Foundation, they were like, boom, I don't see a problem. So
yeah, so Cox Mowers will also be there.
Cox will be there.
We're going to have some local guys there, Tyson Wilson from Executive Property Maintenance Services, and we'll probably have Shory there. We'll probably be like smoking weed and eating dirt and shit.
Yeah. That's how he rolls. No, it'll be really good.
He can actually just jump the back fence.
He can. I've had a few emails come through that are just like, pretty, you know, mind-blowing at what people are willing to put up for a good cause.
Oh yeah, so let's get to the prizes. We're going to have prizes from
Skag, ICL, like Ego said they will throw something in.
I think Bush Ranger's going to throw something in.
Put something in.
We'll have something from Catch Pro as well.
Something from Catch Pro. We're trying to work on a few other ones like Bad Workwear and things like that. So see who does, and yeah.
Now we would love to get some interstate folks in. Mm-hmm. It's a big ask, but calling out Dan Cahill.
Yeah.
Calling out the mowing mentor.
How about Turtle?
Calling out Turtle.
Check out Miss Scone.
Gary Ashton.
Fernscapes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Turtle.
Repping the Turtle hats from Fernscapes.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see people from everywhere. I know, as much as it breaks my heart, I know that it's a really long way for someone like Humongous to come. I would really love to see him in person.
It's a Saturday event. Hopefully, if we do get some folks in a state, they can book some accommodation. Maybe we can go out for dinner.
Look, to be honest,
you guys can drink piss and I'll drink water.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a few beers there. I really want this event to be a credible event, that it draws a credible crowd. Obviously, we're not going to be like partying hard, but it's going to be a really good event with really good brands supporting it. And this is where the kickoff is. I think something like this is where things can progress. And if the brands actually see that this has value, this has merit, not only is it great for them, but it'll be great for us. And in saying that, I want to continue on with it being a charitable event, and it'll be good for the Red Kite Foundation as well. So,
and bring your friends and family, of course, as well.
Yeah.
So be cool to see the kiddies out there on the rigs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty fun.
We will have social media posts.
Yeah, as it gets closer and everything gets confirmed, I get confirmations from all the brands. Then things will come together, and it'll be a fun day. Another little snippet of news. Paul Jameson reached out to me. So I met him when I was at the Equip Expo last year. He's just released another sort of lawn care business self-help book sort of thing.
Yeah, he's got a book out.
I think he's got 4 now.
Yeah, I don't read,
I don't read either. I'll listen. Maybe he's got an audio book.
Probably.
But it turns out that he's keen to have me on his podcast, and it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, so listen out for that. That'll be awesome.
I don't know when it'll be. Hopefully it's not too late. I'll have to get jacked up on coffee.
So a little topic that I came across on social media was about mold blades.
Yeah, and it doesn't really get talked about in depth. Like, people always ask their a recommendation, but people don't really talk about them in depth. And I know you've done a lot of research lately.
Yeah, so I won't go too hard here because I think this is actually going to be a proper topic for us.
Yeah.
Now, I do have my Ballard blade shipment due sometime next week, and I'd like to save it for that just so I can get in front of the camera with some of the different variants, and we can go through some of that process.
Yeah.
But awesome topic. I think there is some things to learn about blade choices. But I think we'll save that. And in the meantime, let us know if that is something that you want to hear about mowing blades. Because there are some... there are some differences between the American and Australian market. 100%. So, and we don't currently have really anything coming out of Australia. So,
no.
I think when you're talking about blades, something that really has to be mentioned is the airflow in the decks.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that gets overlooked a lot. But we're going to break that down in more detail. Maybe next week or the week after.
Typical Skull Sessions detail.
No, I think this is something that...
It's good you've done your research. I know you've done your research. I'm going to have to brush up on mine.
No, but I think it's just something that the conversation's going to come a little bit more natural.
Yeah.
Rather than, your spreadsheets and all that other shit that you and me don't typically mess with too much.
Now, I don't know if speaking of blades, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I'm a hoarder of old blades. Now, I don't know if anyone else does this out there, but I was going to keep all my blades for 2 or 3 years and then just take them in a crate and see how much I get for them. Because that's a fuckload of steel. And it's a lot of steel just to be getting rid of. So I've probably got about maybe 40 blades, cooked ones.
Yeah,
ready
geez,
for so I've got them sitting there ready to rock and roll, and
I'm one of those dudes who typically like, I've got stuff laying around, but I get the shits with it and just throw it.
Yeah, no, I've got them all stacked neatly, and I've still kept them in their sets of 2s and 3s, just in case I, see value in something. I can, if I have to do a shit block, I can just like edge them up and cook them even more.
Yeah, don't let Russell ever find that block.
Oh God, I can only imagine.
Because he will rape it. So, in most markets in Australia now, maybe with the exception of, very far up north, we're seeing temperatures definitely around that 16 degrees or lower at night, which usually means that the grass is shutting off. Yes. I'm not really in the tools these days. I obviously still do a bunch of mowing, but what are the hedges like at the moment? Has the hedge growth stunned, or is it still going? Because sometimes there's leak over, right?
Yeah, they're 100% is leak over, thank God, because I panicked a little bit of how quickly the grass, it was like a snap of the fingers and overnight the grass just shut off, which probably does.
In Brisbane, there was just no transitional period.
No,
it went from like humid, and I was at the beach getting burnt, and then like before the next weekend rolled over, I was wearing double layers.
Yeah, bizarre. I don't hate it. Like, I love the cold because it does mean like the work will change up and things like that. But I didn't expect it to just snap straight into no grow. Hedges are still sweet, which is good. That will push us an extra 2 weeks in with our maintenance side of things. But it's time to start looking at all those extras, and you know what? I don't know why I always panic. I think I spoke about this either last episode or the episode before. I always fucking panic at this time of the year because obviously this is I've got more staff than I've ever had. I shouldn't panic because one of them's taken care of. Like he doesn't, 2 of them, sorry, they don't have to worry about anything. They're 100% employed all year round. And the other 2, I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? And then I did all my bookwork last night and I was looking at all my spaces that I have available. I literally have 1 day a fortnight available.
There you go.
And I was like, fuck it hell. Like, I've just spent all this time just like stressing. I rung a little, I'm like, geez, it's really quieting down. We got to make sure these boys have got stuff to do. Like, they don't want time off. And the boys have been asking for Saturdays. So, I mean, they might not get their Saturdays, but I know that I can fill that 1 day.
So in saying that, like last year, we obviously did a winter episode.
Yeah.
We're looking to do a refresh of that, and just give the contractors out there some tips and some confidence to, and also the motivation. To be able to go out there and earn the keep.
I think it's a confidence thing as well because that's the hardest thing I found was like. Having the confidence to go, all right, it's switched off. Now you can go and confidently walk up to these customers and say, this is what needs to be done over winter to have the desired effect in summer. And just sell it to them like it will save you money in summer if we tackle these problems now. Mulching, pressure cleaning, trimming trees, just all that shit that, some people might not want to do that stuff over winter.
And a dark horse, which I haven't gotten over the line yet, but the turf dye.
And you know what? I've seen it being pushed more this year than even Tim
the mower man. I think he's working with an American product. I could be wrong about that. But I just think it makes a lot of sense, especially when lawns are going dormant. Now we don't get dormant lawns really in Queensland. Certainly as you head down south, I'm sure lawns go like proper dormant. And so it's a great way to keep some colour on them. People make comments like, vomit and stuff like that. But really, like once you apply it and give it a day, it really looks natural.
And most of them have fertilizer element to them.
Properties, right. Okay. So they'll actually help the lawn, and you can do treatments with the stuff. So
that's pretty cool.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think you can go overboard. I know I used to get like, because I was only doing like, say, a 40 square patch of cooch, and I used to get, you know, like it was green.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever thought of just fucking it up and just doing like a crazy colour and just like painting it all red? Like
I never thought of that, but there is something that I am looking at, is mulch dyes.
Yeah, that's something. That's
and I believe there is a provider in Brisbane.
Really?
I had reached out at some point. I never bought any. But
now that would only be worth doing on things like cypress, and you would.
Yeah, you would
do
have
that to tea tree, would you?
Yeah, possibly. Like sun bleached. I got tea tree out the back, and it's certainly, you know, just sat in that summer heat, get sun bleached. So, you know, look, I think you're only doing this in gardens that aren't getting a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah.
So, like, if you've got clients that have dogs and they're running through the gardens, or kids typically run through gardens and stuff like that, I don't think it's a product that you would really use. But if you've got like feature gardens that, you know, are pretty well kept, and you don't, you know, have heaps and heaps of foliage like everywhere.
Yeah.
Check it out on YouTube. You can look at mulch dyes. Most of the content is American, but it's basically the same concept.
That's pretty cool, man. I do like the concept of mulch dyes, because cypress will lose its colour before it loses its integrity. So.
Absolutely. And look, I used to do the old school approach, and I would turn my gardens over every maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's been remulched. But these days, the way that my body is, I'm having some other issues.
Yeah.
Like it just tears me to shreds.
Yeah.
You know, getting down on my hands and knees and turning it all over and fluffing it all up. So, you know, we used to do that a lot in clients' gardens.
Yeah.
You know, we would say, hey, do you want us to spend, you know, an hour or two maybe pruning, doing bits and pieces, and we would, you know, turn over all the mulch and make it look fresh, rather than remulching.
It's nice too. That's a casual little job. If you're doing a bit of pruning, a bit of, you know, detailing on the mulch, it's actually not a bad job at all. And it, you know,
it's the end result that you get to look at.
Yeah.
Which I think's nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, speaking of looking at YouTube, I realised how old I was last night when I said to my wife, hey, do you want to watch some air fryer reviews? How ridiculous is that? Almost.
That's not what I was expecting.
No. No one was. Even she wasn't expecting it. But no, and my son didn't help. He said, Dad, you've got such a big belly. And yeah, kind of wrecked me. But yeah, I'm just feeling my age this winter, coming into, I'm like, oh man, what's going on? I'm not even in my 40s yet.
We are just like, we're going to a 20-year reunion.
I mean, I'm excited to go because I can still kick it old school. Like, I can party like it's fucking 27.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for all the disses.
Really?
About my hair. Even at the event last week.
Oh, fuck.
Cara and buddy Ross and everyone giving me shit.
What? See, that's the difference. I have no hair, so people are like, I wonder if he's grey. But I'm like, I'm bald as fuck.
Yeah.
So that's worse. I'd rather have grey hair than fucking no hair. Or shit hair, because I'm not bald. Like, I wish I was completely bald. But I've got like the fucking old man thing going on. Like,
I'll tell you
shoot
something.
out of the front.
I'll tell you something that will make you feel old that I was having a look at, right?
Oh, shit.
Now, everyone knows I'm an old school wrestling fan. Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestled his first match in 23 years.
What?
Doesn't that make you feel old?
He wrestled his first match in 23 years.
Yeah, so like...
So he just went back.
He just had like one match at WrestleMania, but that was the first time he's wrestled in 21 years. And remember, we used to just sit down every week and watch it?
Yeah. How the fuck does he even do that?
It wasn't the best showing, but...
Oh, man.
But that makes you feel old, right?
Just so many things.
I remember I used to we used to go out on the piss.
Yeah.
And I used to come home and watch, it was on Fox 8, and I used to record it and come home and watch it drunk. And I'd always have to watch it again the next day because I just could not remember what the hell happened on the show. And I just remember like it was just good times, eh?
Do you remember the dumb shit we used to do? Like when you used to jump off of my roof.
Yeah.
And I used to catch you in like a red.
Yeah.
We fucking killed ourselves.
And I think the second time I broke my nose was when you picked me up for like a power bomb, and at the same time someone was running for to spear you. And as soon as you picked me up, I just copped the shoulder straight in my nose.
Bye, Benny.
Yeah. Added to the extra ski jump.
Yeah. Now it's an Olympic size.
Okay, so back to winter.
Oh, yeah.
I would probably... It's hard to say about, all the different markets, but I still think... when you hear people like, oh, we haven't mowed this in 6 or 8, whatever weeks. I've got to be honest, I think I get it if a lawn just doesn't need mowing, but I don't think that they're a good client if they're going to not accept like 4 weeks at least.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Now, I know that does change through markets.
Or some sort of replacement service.
Yeah, so I think that would be, in the winter months, you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really think it's a time to get on your high horse and be like, well, hey, as a client, if you're not going to, get me in at least once a month to do something, get fucked, because you got to have something in line for that. But I think it's also a reflection of, what that client would be like in summer.
Yeah.
Whether they're constantly trying to push it to 3 weeks or what have you. I think we're moving really into a market now where we are sort of adopting a little bit more of that American style where we're trying to lock people in weekly.
Yeah.
Weekly mowing jobs in summer were always really hard to get, and they weren't that common.
Yeah.
But now that the contractor industry as a whole is become a little bit more educated, and we've got that work, smarter rather than harder theory, you do see, the weekly mows becoming more prominent.
Yeah, that's where the gravy is. But I feel in the American market, their weekly mows are not, $60 and $70. They're like 40.
And look, they are also offset by the off season. So
yeah, that's true.
So I understand that.
Some of them get 3 months of winter, but in saying that, if they are smart or savvy, they've moved on to snow removal in the winter, even if it's just small scale, just to do something. But geez, those boys must pump some work out in that growth period.
Yeah, I mean the amount of hours that are going on machines.
Yeah.
Is like you hear something like sometimes like 300 hours in a season.
Yeah.
That's bloody amazing.
That's pretty good. No, we normally do the same thing every year, and it's mulching, and we do have a fair bit of mulching to do, but last year was the first time I got to mulch my new village, and that was just so good because we would just get a load in every week and the boys would just hit a different zone. So that was a full day, just sorted every single week. So this winter is all bulk. So we're getting like bulk deliveries.
Yeah.
And we have to do like bulk work, get bobcats in and shit like that. So it's a little bit different. Pressure cleaning and stuff like that is also underway. We've done a few quotes. It's a little bit annoying because how I said earlier about the snap, that I wasn't expecting it just to turn off so quick. We've had quotes in, and the quotes, because I do a lot of body corporate work, they have to go through the process.
Yeah.
And then obviously if they want to change something on the quote, then it goes back, and then you have to wait for them to have another meeting, and then the process is just a fucking long, drawn out thing. But now they're starting to trickle over the line, and we're getting a little bit here, a little bit there. But getting those quotes in early, I think, like I've made the mistake this year of not getting them in early enough. But I think if you want to be prepared for winter, then I think you need to start organising things maybe a month or two in advance.
Which is really tough because, look, what I always found as a contractor was when you sort of get back from that New Year period, you're instantly behind. By the time you start catching up, you've got Australia Day.
Yeah.
And
fucking public holidays.
Then I think if you're doing residential mowing services, you can add 2 lawns on for a day.
Yeah.
Each day leading up to a public holiday, and you can get by. For us, when we had like big site works where we had to have 2 guys on site for 8 hours, you lose a day, and it's just not easy to make that up. And I'm sure that's what you struggle with now. But I remember by the time you start recovering from Australia Day, it's like Anzac Day. Easter usually comes, and then there's 2 public holidays.
Yep.
Then there's Anzac Day. Then there's Labor Day. I don't think every state had Labor Day.
No, but they'll have it later in the year.
They'll have it later in the year, but it always takes like up until May to really start getting on top of everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, if you have the cold snap, it's like, oh shit, like.
Yeah.
I went from being so hectic to now, twiddling me thumbs.
Yeah. And it's not really the start of winter that there's the pain in the ass. It's as it progresses, the work will become less and less. And, if you had a few days spare at the start of winter, then, you're more than likely going to have a few more at the end until it kicks back in. But there's no limit of work out there. Like, you don't stop hustling just because the weather's cold and the grass is turned off. If you look around, like there are multiple like sports organisations that, even though like they don't want their grass mowed, there's probably a shitload of stuff that they want done. Like my tennis centre came to us and we had a little discussion. I said, look, there's a lot of trees that are really close to the courts. Let's pull them all back. And they were like, yep, sweet. Let's do a bloody quote for that. And yeah, so I took on something that I don't know if I really want to do, but I'm clearing out a creek bed, like down the side. It's like a man-made, it's not a creek, it's like a man-made fucking gully. But yeah, all that
Buck, I got the shit
creeping
memories.
Daisies. Oh,
remember Buckanola?
Oh, Nola, yeah.
Before she lived there, I worked on the property with Shorey.
Yeah.
And I got photos of me as a fucking young whippersnapper.
Oh.
In bloody waders, like, the fishermen.
Yeah.
In this fucking creek, hand weeding a creek, man, like dredging it.
What?
Yeah, Shorey the bastard put me and Kyle on there and this other dude. And look, I think we had fun. But,
you would have 3
But it was gnarly as, man. Like, this creek was like it was almost 100 meters long.
Yeah. I don't think I showed you the video, but I've got a property just down the road from here, and they had this bridge, and it is like the creepiest, ricketiest, fucking wobbliest bridge. But they were like, nah, there's something over there, like it's a little area that we like, and fucking
that is cool on a property.
It is cool, but the bridge is fucking like sus. Like I should make it stress. Anyway, we got across there, whippersnipped it all down, found there was like an actual rock edge, and I just got my dude in, subcontractor, and he came through and he fucking re-turfed the whole thing, and it has come up mint, but it's getting across there, man. Like it's a big area. And I can't even take the 32. Like this bridge is fucking stressing under my weight.
Is it as bad as like, the little fishing jetties at down at Loader?
Oh, way worse.
Like, come on, man. Some of those.
Bro, the boards are coming out. Like I'm pushing the boards back in with my feet as I walk.
So there's this little spot. Where we live locally, and I guess like in the fucking 70s. These people that lived on the waterfront of this creek had their own private jetties.
It looks like they built them themselves too. They're not professionally made.
Oh hell no! This is like I'm telling you, these are like driftwood
like
jetties.
Scrap jetties.
You know, and the biggest pieces of shit boats. And there was all these signs like, stay off my jetty, rah, rah. And as kids, we would go and, you know, jump off them, and you'd see these bogans come out and they're like, get off my jetty, and we would sit there as kids like, fuck off, cunt, we'll kick this down.
Just fucking push it over.
Well, yeah. I dropped the C-bomb.
That's
apologies.
Right. No,
so
if you didn't bring it up, Ben.
We put a bridge in at the horse farm.
Oh, did you?
And it was like a huge truck bed, like a tow truck bed that got donated. Nice. And we didn't have an excavator or anything, and they've got like this old Massey Ferguson tractor.
Yeah.
And this dude's got a Land Cruiser. They didn't ask for my Ram, thank God. But he had like a front winch, and we had these huge big like telephone pole sleeper, like the brown ones.
Yeah.
And we literally just like winched this thing up and pulled it from one side with the Land Cruiser and nudged it from the other side and just rolled it over. I could not believe it worked. It was slow going.
I would be pretty careful.
So now all the cattle can just walk across. It's fantastic.
All right, that's pretty cool.
No, it is. It's awesome. And like, I wanted to drive my truck over there, and they're like, nah. And I was like, man, this is solid. Like, I was confident.
If it's a tow truck bed, it should be able to take the Ram.
Well,
it's more like earth underneath.
The earth underneath. Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to let the cattle walk over there.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was really cool.
Cow's a little bit cheaper to replace and easier to get out of a fucking creek than a Ram.
You still have to winch the motherfuckers out. Like, they had a horse fall in there.
Oh no!
And they had to get like snatching straps and stuff to winch it out. Yeah. Now they fucking freak out, man.
Like you're not local to my area, but fuck, there are a lot of wallabies out at the moment. They're fucking everywhere. Like driving, so Chloe dances
shorter days, mate.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Chloe dances probably about 7-minute drive from our house, and I can guarantee I'll see like 15, 20 every time.
Yeah.
There's a few smooshed ones too. And I've been seeing more and more every day. And I saw my first dead echidna.
Oh, no way.
I almost cried. There's something about seeing, because I've never really seen an echidna out in the wild, and any contractors out there that get to see echidnas and different animals, you guys are lucky. I'm an animal dude. Like, I love seeing things in the wild, and just seeing it fucking cooked on the side of the road, I was like, oh no. And
I bet you this time the ants were eating it.
Oh shit.
Fuck. Oh man. Look at freestyle.
Yeah, this is a bit of a freestyle episode. I'm happy we haven't done one for a while.
Yeah, no, it's been ages. I mean, we always have like a certain element of freestyle.
Yeah. This is a special occasion day too. Should we tell everyone what we're doing after this?
Yeah, so we are...
blowing each other. No.
We're trying to get this episode out of the way, and we're doing a fit out of BJ's truck.
Yay.
So by the time you're hearing this, you shall see it on social media.
You shall.
Putting all the goodies on there.
A few special, not released products too.
Yeah, and people are pumping me about it.
I know, they will be.
I've been to... well, I mean, I had to show them.
Yeah.
More because I needed to use them.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the ZT Quick Lock.
Yo.
So there has been a lot of speculation on social media, like, is this legal? Now, I can be fairly upfront. It's legal in all 50 states in America, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't 100% gone through the process in Australia, but with the ZT Quick Lock, if you haven't seen it yet, go on my Instagram, you'll see bits and pieces. In every kit, we will have a secondary point. We've got a strap included for a secondary point of contact. Now, that is mostly for the rear jumping up and down if that happens. I think if you've got a mowing box, like you have for the Tiger Cat, like I had on my trailer, the wheel locker would be sufficient. But from a legal standpoint, we have to have that secondary point.
Yeah.
So we'll include a heavy strap with a D-ring.
I'd probably do it anyway. Like, it's pretty quick to fucking put one strap on.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I take the mower, look around to the horse paddock and do some stuff, and I just roll it into the quick lock and fucking Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
If I'm going on the highway,
that's
bung down to other strap.
If you're driving around my fucking house with all the roadworks, probably bung a strap on it.
So, look, that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, it'll be good.
And look, I think it's going to be great for the Australian market in the sense that it's just going to make loading up a mower so much more pleasant.
Yeah, because with my Turfy on the back of the truck, like, I'll reverse it up, I'll strap it with 3 straps, and that takes a lot of time. If I can just drive it up, and because I take my straps on and off and put them in the car so they don't get sun damage and shit like that. But if I have one strap, just fucking strap it on down the back.
And several of the mowing companies at their release were like, we need these for our demo units, for our truck, for our, for their trailers.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the thing too, like, I don't know, we looked at some of the different ones on the market. I think we mentioned a fair few episodes ago, and some of them have like false ratings and shit like that. They've turned the pounds into kilos. So,
well, I think they're not, rather than being false, like just in their defense, I think it's just typos.
Oopsies.
Yeah. And it does happen.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of those out there. So, it'll be good to have a very, very well named, because this is like, it's similar to another product, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's basically just a remake of the Power Locker.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have to remake it is for me to resell the Ballard Power Locker in Australia, we have to sell it for $600. And it's not worth that.
It's a real fine balance for you. Like, my hat's off to you the way that you've picked and like chose the products that you remake in Australia, which means you get to stamp it with the Australian made logo anyway.
Well, we still haven't really done that, so people aren't necessarily aware, but the cone caddy, for example, which is a Ballard product, we are making that now locally because it's so much easier to make than it is to import it. And it means that, like, it's not a high volume product. I can make 20 of them and they can kind of sit around.
Really? The cone caddy's not a high, but...
Oh, it's not a high volume product when you're talking Catch Pro Shield, Whipper Gripper.
Okay.
The
cone caddy is one of the first things I wanted to chuck on me rig.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Not only does it provide entertainment when you're out fucking throwing the cones, trying to get them on the thing.
That's it, yeah. So, but also the blade assist.
Yeah.
By the time you send a box, so big and the weight of it from Iowa to Brisbane, all your margin is consumed by freight costs.
Is the blade assist like a high volume?
We go through stages,
yeah. Because that's a fucking lifesaver.
So I remake it and I send a royalty to Corey.
Yeah.
Exactly like he does with the Catch Pro and the wheel locker. So this ZT Quick Lock, we have changed some things. They have 3 variants.
Yeah. And
instead of us having 3 variants, we're going to have 1 variant, and you can add packers in to accommodate different wheel sizes. So we're going to get eaten a little bit more on the production cost, but we will save literally thousands.
Yeah.
In having, and also warehousing.
Yeah, true.
Because these things aren't easy to...
Fair enough.
To warehouse. They're in a big box.
Yeah. So in regards to, saving money, can I ask what is like an import tax these days? Is it still 11% or something? Was it?
It's 10%.
It's 10%, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, so it's 5... Oh, my diary just came out of my mouth. It's actually 15%. So you have to pay GST, then you pay 5% import tax.
Oh my god.
So
that's where you fucking people are like, oh, I could buy it fucking 15% cheaper in the US. Oh.
No, and we're having a lot of issues with our NZ bros because their import fees are higher than ours.
Oh, really?
And if they want to buy a Catch Pro, because the threshold for the tax is $1,000.
Yeah.
They have to pay an import tax on that, and it just makes everything so much more expensive. That's why when people say, okay, we've got a product like Mower Magic,
yeah,
which is the cleaning wash.
Yeah.
Ballard's retailing it for like $29, and we're retailing 2 bottles for $89, something like that. And people are, this is ridiculous. How much margin is involved? But man, really, by the time you import 20 cartons of it,
yeah,
and convert the dollar, add the import tax, add your margin, and then it's got to be shipped to the client as well.
Yeah.
It's just something that we face.
How funny is it people are like, people shouldn't ask for discounts, and then they fucking question prices, and it's so funny how hypocritical some people can be when on one platform they'll say, why do these customers question our prices and stuff like that, and then you've put a product up that obviously you've worked out a margin where everybody makes money and everybody gets the product they need, and they're like, why is it that expensive?
Yeah, and I think sometimes what they're not realising is that as some margins that we make are legitimately pathetic.
Yeah.
Like the advanced shoot system, for example.
Just to have it.
So that is my theory. If I snatch up all of these products and get exclusivity deals,
yeah.
Even though I might not be making the best margin for Catch Pro and for my well-being, it stops other people being able to sell that product.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do any better than me.
Yeah.
So we see other products from America being imported, and the sale prices are actually a lot higher.
Yeah. Well, it's a good deal. So, it works. I actually had my first big rejection the other day. It was a little bit sad. A property I used to look after, the owners sold, and the sell price for this property was around the 4.5 million.
That is a shitload of money.
It's a very, very it's a beautiful property, and I was excited because the new owners finally reached out and they said, we'd like to get you in to, do some spraying, do some hedging and things like that. They want to take care of the mowing, which is fine, but I just thought...
I would have dropped them right then and there.
Well, I mean, realistically, it wouldn't have been me doing it if it wasn't mowing.
Yeah, no, but it's the cream, mate.
Yeah, it's the cream for me. The other boys, they can do all the gardening and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Treat them like slaves, you dog.
Fucking no, mate. Wait, fucking... it was Dion, his 1 year anniversary yesterday. So... Nah, save him some money. So... Anyway.
Okay.
It's a financial pash. But no, fucking happy anniversary, Dion. To many more. But anyway, these guys they want to get me in once a month. The previous owners had me in weekly, so I gave them a price based on a monthly visit because it's so much. There'll be such a variance of work. I gave them an hourly price. And they were like, oh yeah, nah, that's too expensive. So the previous owner, he was getting charged 60, 68 or something like that. And GST was on top of that. And, we were there weekly. It was a fucking really good job. And I was only there every second week to do the big mow. And I only upped my price to 75, and this lady was just like, no, well, I'm not having that. I'm like, well, she knew the price that the previous owner was paying, and I'm like, yeah, but that's a weekly price. That is based off my staff going there weekly. Everything's maintained,
and it's locked in too.
And it's locked in weekly.
You don't have to look at the diary again.
Never. It's there. Wednesday was theirs every week. this lady just was like not having it, and I wrote a really nice, respectful message back to her and said, look,
like saying fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. No, I just said, like, I said, this was a weekly job. We were there weekly. You want us monthly, so that's really not gonna work for us, charging such a, reduced amount. And she was just like, nah.
Well, I also lost a customer.
Did ya?
Someone inquired and they said, are the 3 racks lockable?
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not even going to write back, right? Because it's Equipment Defender.
Yeah.
Locking system is like the actual gimmick, like that's the sales point.
Yeah.
So then they hit me back up and they're like, this is pathetic service. And, I still just was like, no, man, I'm not even messing with this. And they haven't bought anything yet, so, yeah.
That's a really weird one. Like, it's literally the whole gimmick of it is lockable racking system.
Yeah, I had someone the other day email in saying that they were very disappointed because on our ad we have a 3 trimmer rack system, but that person has failed to actually click the menu to have a look at the options. So they've ordered a 2 rack, which is what we have sent them, and they are not happy. And it's my fault because I read the order saying a 2 rack and that's what I sent them.
You piece of shit.
And it's my fault.
Yes, I can only imagine like dealing with people of such a high volume.
But on the whole, like I'd say 99% of customers are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And send me lots of funny messages in the notes section, which is always a lol.
And you kind of need that 1% to like just have stories with skull sessions.
Yeah, I mean, look, I lose sleep over some of it.
Yeah.
Especially with the impact of social media, anyone can go rip you to shreds.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it's just a part of it. So something that was funny that was sent to me by the Skag rep, Betty Brown.
Yeah.
Sort of comment on an American page about someone was dissing Corey, right?
Okay, obviously.
Saying he's full of gimmicks and, the shit's just the same with his sticker and his painting blades in the shed, all this stuff, right? So then they go on to say the only product that I'd be looking to get would probably be the Catch Pro because it's made by an Australian company.
Yeah.
And I was reading it and I was thinking like, this is great. But boy, this dude's going to be pissed when he finds out his Catch Pro is made in Mexico.
Oh no.
So, I know we have fuck all American listeners, but...
are you going to jump on it and tell him?
No.
No?
No. No, it's none of my business.
Yeah.
But I will take it as...
take it as a win.
Credible... street cred.
Yeah, street cred. Yeah, I like it. Send him a sticker.
Now, we're going to wrap up... today's, I guess, been a bit of a shorter episode, but obviously we've explained we have to do this fit up.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Now, news that nobody cares about.
Okay.
I just want to watch the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Boston Celtics.
I felt so bad when you rang me yesterday. I'm not going to change plans on us, but I just want you to know this is what's happened, and and Philly's playing.
Game 6. 76ers versus Boston. They can close out today. They can go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2001.
Yeah.
And I've been a diehard fan. And boy, have I been punching some lung busters during these games. These games go for like 3 hours.
Oh, no.
And it's like neck and neck. And we're finally up in the series.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this on Sunday and you happen to see that there is another game, that means that my team cooked it, and and there's a game 7. Hoping to close it out in game 6.
Yeah. All right, we'll see.
Okay, so thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Hopefully my blades arrive. The ETA is online for us to be talking about them. Not specifically about the Ballard blades, but types of blades. airflow under deck, types of grasses that we should be mowing with them. I'm really excited about the episode, to be honest.
Very good. I might learn something. I've really stuck to the same sort of style blades. But yeah, it'll be a good episode.
Awesome. Until then, I'm at Catchbro. He's at TVL, and we're out of time.